Hello everyone, this is Guy with Southern Jewelry News, and this is another episode of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry Podcast. Enjoy the episode. Today we are joined with a good friend of mine, Sebastian Velasquez, who's the brand manager for INOX Men's Jewelry, and we're talking about something that, we're going to talk about INOX Jewelry and what they're doing this year, but something that's important for every retailer dealing with different brands out in the market. So SEBAS, my bro, hello, welcome again to the Pearls of Wisdom podcast.
Oh, glad to be here. So glad you had me after I asked you to have me 4 times. No, we gotta do that again. Oh, so glad to be here, man. Always excited to talk about what makes men's jewelry awesome for people.
Okay, so this year, 2026, we are talking about what INOX is doing to help retailers. So, initially, what do you think anybody needs to know who INOX is?
Yeah, at this point, if you haven't heard about us, yes, absolutely. So let me just give you a quick rundown of who INOX is. INOX is a men's jewelry brand dedicated to basically creating unique, curated stories for men within the jewelry industry that guys can resonate with. We like to think of ourselves as a jewelry brand for men that don't like jewelry. So we're going after everybody else that people have looked over for many, many years.
So many people in the industry knows who INOX is, knows you, knows the team, and for many reasons. Because of why do you think so many of the retailers in the industry know who and what INOX is?
Well, for one, we're very vocal, we're praying and all over the place. But the one thing that really sets INOX apart and what we like to really bring forward to our retailers and something that we want to replicate, hence what we're talking here, is the vibe, the lifestyle, the energy. If you know me, if you know any of our team members, if you've been to a jewelry show where the Man Cave is, you haven't been able to miss it. The Man Cave, the INOX brand, it's it's a full alternative to what most of us know within the industry. It's like everything that has been set in stone, we're basically reinventing. We are doing multiple approaches. We're basically coming at it from a different perspective, and our approach is high energy, easy to approach. It's fun jewelry. As a guy, we like to think of our consumer as the guy that goes to your jewelry store, but hasn't really pushed to ask and actually look for something for himself, because it might look like nothing is for him, or the price is too high, or like the jewelry doesn't look really like something he would jive with or get into. So the INOX approach has always been make it approachable, make it dude friendly, and make it something that guys can resonate with.
Dude friendly, awesome. So everyone that comes to see INOX at the show or call or whatever, they really buy into the whole idea of INOX and the different collection, and everyone loves the story, the attitude, the feeling that you get from INOX. Yes. And a lot of retailers have bought into it. You walk into many retailers and find INOX. But the challenge is, and this is a challenge that I think happened with so many vendors, not just INOX, but any of the different vendors, jewelry vendors that you carry in your store, is how do you transfer that enthusiasm that you get at the show, on the phone, when talking to the INOX crew? How do you transfer that enthusiasm over to the sales staff and the team back in the store? So INOX is doing something this year. What's INOX doing?
Oh, thank you for the setup, guy. So, you hit it right on the nail. We can do an amazing job of presenting our collections and presenting what we want to create. I mean, the Man Cave, if you've walked into it, it's kind of a space that you step into and you immediately understand what we're trying to do without somebody trying to explain it to you. But we often find that we're kind of experiencing a little bit of a broken telephone game. situation where we have this really cool content and persona and assets and energy. I like to consider the sales as the transfer of enthusiasm. So we have that enthusiasm that we want to transfer down to a consumer, but every so often, we have the connection personally with the decision maker, the manager at the store, will you? And these people are busy. So once the program launches, it gets into a store. More often than not, the retail staff at the store level gets a diluted version of what the owner, the decision maker, experienced at the show. So the manager or the acting manager hears a version of it, and then the staff members hears a version from the manager. So by the point it's happened to me where we launch really amazing programs, and I like to play secret shopper a lot because whatever. And I'll go into a store and pretend I'm a consumer, and what I hear is so far removed from what we originally intended to be said that, it's not negative in any way. It's not like people are fibbing or are saying a lie, but it's more about the cost opportunity of not doing it the full way it was designed to be. Because INOX as a whole, as a brand, and this is something you've heard me say it plenty of times, it's like we consider INOX almost like Thanos's Infinity Gauntlet, and there's an Infinity Stone for each kind of thing, and they all work together. So we have amazing design. We have a really cool and distinctive presentation with the wooden displays that you mentioned. If you go anywhere in the Midwest, chances are you walk into a jewelry store, you'll see some of our rustic wooden displays. That's our look. We also have the persona with the bro kind of accessible thing. We have training, which we'll discuss a little bit shortly. And then we additionally are doing social support. So with INOX, we don't want it just to stand for jewelry. We're also joining in with causes that really represent our consumer base and the people we're working with. So, for example, last year we partnered up with Movember for Movember, which is a mental health and physical health campaign, and that's something that's really important for us because that's kind of like our consumer base. So all of these gems, if you will, work together to create the INOX Power Gauntlet. Gauntlet. Yes, and some of the customers through the years have taken advantage of 3 out of 5 or 2 out of 5. What we're trying to do here is hey, we created something amazing. We've figured it out. We've looked at it for 20 years. Trust us. Yeah. If you use all the assets, all the resources that we're putting around it, INOX is not only going to perform, it's going to blow your mind.
Blow your mind. Okay, that's amazing. So this is really important for the INOX customers, but really if you sell a brand's jewelry in your store, you should be looking for this type of help, support, marketing that INOX is bringing to its customers. And now, so let's go through what's available, what INOX is doing this year for the customer, what the authorized retailers, what they're going to get.
Fantastic. So the biggest drop and probably the biggest advancement what we're going to do for 2026 is we're officially launching, I'm going to try not to laugh, the School of Hard INOX.
Yes.
So the School of Hard INOX, it's an amazing, currently it's a 12 part series, but it's once it's done, it's probably going to be closer to 29 part series that we created 2-minute video sections teaching you everything around INOX. We did this partnering with Jewelry Sales Academy, which you may also know from the industry. And shout out to Zach and William and the crew. They're doing something fantastic because knowledge is power. And we really saw the potential in this. So we partnered up with them, which this means is we, INOX as a brand, it's investing. We're paying for our retail partners to receive training directly from us. And the type of training that you can expect is kind of like what you see in most brands, like the story, the inspiration, the why, the manufacturing, the warranty, the top of the level stuff. But INOX goes a little deeper, and we want to really open the hood and show you the inspiration and the way to really, communicate each one of these collections to the end consumer. Because the real meaning of jewelry, if you guys remember, was about self-expression. And on INOX, as alternative and as creative as we are, we're honestly just trying to bring back jewelry to its root, which is what stories does the individual that will wear this want to tell about themselves, and hence the cornucopia of very unique and different stories that basically resonate with different individuals.
Perfect. So that's pretty important. I think this is something that a lot of brands really miss the mark on. They don't do enough. They make beautiful jewelry, beautiful displays, beautiful advertisements and so forth, but fall short sometimes providing that extra training. And the video sales training with Jewelry Sales Academy is really important, because there's lots of great reasons why this is going to be successful, because you could know who's watching, how much they watched, et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, just to produce one video, if you produce videos, it takes a lot of effort and work. To put 12 and even up to more is really a lot of effort. INOX is taken the massive effort to provide the marketing resources, the support that the authorized retailers need. And I think a lot of brands out there could take some, follow the lead a little what INOX is doing. So aside from the video sales training, there's a bunch of other things. What else?
Well, let me just stop you there. On the video sales training, that was such a good point. Within our industry, as a vendor, we're kind of all used to just receiving the product and present it the way best possible. But the reality is, a lot of brands such as ourselves, when we design or we create a new product, it's created after a specific gap in the market, and there's usually an approach or a way to actually sell it. At least in the case of INOX, we reverse engineer our styles. Whenever we see a possible gap in the market, or accessory wise, we create a story within it that resonates with the customer. And what that means is, if you take all of the information that went into consideration creating this piece, you can actually create a very compelling pitch. That if you guys listen, if you took the training through Jewelry Sales Academy, you'll be able to pick it up for each one of our collections. That it's something that, to some of you guys that have seen us at the show, you've experienced it live. We call it the allure. The allure is a 2-3 sentence, that you can morph multiple times, but it's a way that you can communicate with a consumer and really make them understand what the concept beyond the jewelry is on this piece, and really make a guy feel like this is a jewelry piece. And this is such a big point for us, because in the women's jewelry market, you see women really reacting to styles and being like, this means this and this means that. It's really up and going, it's something that you sense. But for guys, it's usually a case of random accessories. We really want to switch that, and hence why we created these little pieces of content, the little nuggets that you can use to really create a connection with a customer. Case in point, you can probably put the image after, but we're launching a new piece. It's called Impact. It's from our Extinction collection. It's half meteorite, half dinosaur. The allure on that one is dude, it's dinosaurs and what killed them. As a guy, if you grow up with dinosaurs, that is the coolest thing you've ever heard. But it's the way you present it, and you try to connect with a consumer. If you just show it to them oh yeah, it's a piece, it's, I don't know, $500, and you just rattle off specs, that doesn't connect with anybody. If you especially with guys. Us guys, we're simple creatures. We need to be told stuff. If you kind of coerce them and let them know, it's like, this is how you should feel about it. This is cool because A, B, and C. It's so much more compelling. Yeah. Also, it creates that like little sense of like, knowing, like insider knowledge, like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Absolutely. And during my first sales job when I was 16, I learned something that still holds true. It's very relevant to what you just said. And that is stories sell and facts just tell.
Exactly.
Facts just tell. People get bored about it. They don't, they'll want to know that it's titanium or steel or whatever it is. But if you tell the story and convey the message, if you can't just to give the specifics, even try to say, oh, it's meteorite and dinosaur bone, which is very cool. A lot of guys, if you listen to the training and hear Sebas talk about why, what it is, listen to the little tips, the verbiage, the punny jokes, that's what the customers are going to chuckle at, laugh at, remember you, and that's what seals the deal.
Yeah, at the end of the day, was marketing or anything in this section is basically like, we're all trying to buy real estate in somebody else's mind. So we have curated little tidbits of information that are really easy to memorize and really easy to share. They're little one-liners that you can say around the case to basically create that connection with the customer. The INOX is supposed to be a fun brand. Like, this is you have your entire case, your entire jewelry store full of luxury. INOX is luxury, but it's also fun to look at. Fun to be around. So you're asking about additional assets.
What else?
That's the training. But wait, there's more. Okay. Aside from really focusing on like empowering your staff members so they can they can be bro fluent. That's trademarked. Trademark vended. They can be bro fluent. We also want to make sure that your customer base knows, like, that the jewelry lives in a world outside your case. It represents so much more. So aside from creating, like, providing you all this training, we are redoing and really doing it up our social media packages for this year. So Q1 2026, we're starting to launch with Valentine's Day content. We're also going to do March Madness and Super Bowl because, like, as a guy, that's the most important night of the year. So we're celebrating it as such. And we're also doing really cool, non-traditional, event-driven content. Like, for example, we have one around tax refund day because, like, have you heard about women math where, like, if you get something for a discount, it's basically free? That's guy math. Like, it's a tax refund. Basically, Uncle Sam pay for it. And he wants us to stimulate the economy. So get some INOX. That is some of the content on the side. And all this content, which is the key right now, it is all going to be available 2 months ahead of set date. So you can plan your marketing campaign. You can use it. Having cool assets the week before it happens serves no purpose. So we're preparing this way ahead of time for you to use. Additionally, Q1 next year, our retail partners could expect a major drop from INOX. We're going to be dropping around 75 new styles, brand new styles, designed in this very office and that one. In order for you to basically start creating a hype, now every time we do a collection drop, we're going to share with you, the authorized retailer, a teaser asset. Something that you can show immediately on your socials to let them know it's like, hey, this is cooking, INOX is creating this. And then that way you can gauge how much interest you have. If you have some guys that are already a shopper, like, who knows, maybe, like, by the time you place your order, half of the stuff's already sold. So our big push next year is basically we want to get more of this cool vibe, this cool lifestyle down to your store and through your store to the consumer.
Beautiful. So to summarize all the different things, there's the video sales training on Jewelry Sales Academy that tells them how to speak to the bros and
how to curate your own man cave.
Curate your own man cave. And then there's social media assets. There are other assets that can help them to create posters and more.
Exactly.
Right. So INOX is here to support the authorized retailers.
Yeah, going back to what you said, like, as a vendor, we look at INOX and our relationship with the retailer as a full 360. It's not just, hey, we got to get you product and you move it and you reorder. It's like, how does that product look in your store? How do people in your area know about that product being there? How does your store member relay the story and the awesomeness that those pieces represent? And how is that being absorbed by the consumer base? That's what INOX has to offer. Like, and I mean, but to those of you who have seen our growth through the years, you've seen how all these additional resources were slowly being added upon. It was all out of customer feedback and our deep desire to basically empower the retailer to really take care of the dudes in the area.
Beautiful. So, if you're listening, there's lots of key takeaways that you need to pay attention. You and your staff need to pay attention to. One, if you carry INOX, okay. One, if you don't carry INOX, call.
Screw you.
You should call INOX and figure out, and get them hooked up. Get your store hooked
Get in before your territory is gone.
Get in before your territory is gone. Two, if you're already an INOX authorized retailer, make sure you contact SEBAS and the team to ask for all the assets. How do I get in? How do I get involved? How do I get my team trained? Make sure you tell your sales team, your managers to watch the training, because they're only 2 minute long videos, but they give so much value and talk about the why and what's going to help you sell INOX jewelry, right?
Yes. Also, they're not boring.
And that's the thing.
That's key. Like I worked in the fruit industry myself. Training videos are like, we made them entertaining. We made them engaging. We made them. It's not just data dump on people. It's basically this is what this is, but this is why it is. And this is why people will react to it, and this is how you tell them. It's like, we're basically holding your hand, and we're showing you everything that we figured out after 20 years of approaching the men's jewelry industry.
Right, absolutely. And that's very important. One of my favorite books, Simon Sinek, Start With Why. And that's, when you can explain and sell the why, people buy into the concept.
I'm also a Sinek fan. Thank you.
There you go. So look for INOX out at the shows. There's RJO, IJO, et cetera, JCK, and more.
Yeah, look out for all the new collections. So we have IJO, RJO, and JIS in Q1. Coming over, there's going to be, as I said, 85 new items launching. We got a couple of surprises in. This great country's 250th bicentennial is this year, and as an American-based brand, we're gonna do it up. So look forward to that. And most importantly, think of INOX as jewelry the way jewelry hasn't been approached before. People often ask me, it's like, why do you guys go so heavy on the story side? And the reason we do it is, one, it makes it easier to talk about jewelry. Two, jewelry is supposed to represent something more than what you see. And three, and this is 100% accurate, we at INOX, we consider our jewelry like little totems, little representations of what you are. Like, they're like little windows into who you are as a person, or what your likes or your dislikes are. And I'm gonna tell you a weird story.
Oh, you? Tell me a weird story.
Yeah, it's like, it actually connects really well with what you're trying to say. which is like, there was once an Inuit man. He lived out in the tundra, completely alone, out in the ice. He would walk every day, walk around. One day, walking into a valley, he found a cave. Inside this cave, he found the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, but she was trapped inside a frozen coffin, right? So he was completely smitten. He fell in love with her, and he would go back every day just to look at her, and just waiting for the summer to come and the ice to thaw. And finally the day came. He came back, and his eyes had thawed, had melted. He grabbed her, and she was dead. He lost the love of his life because he couldn't break the ice. So here we have some icebreakers that you can use to basically don't let that happen to you. And that's honestly what I see Inox as, like little totems, like, little things that you can show that you like. They're not in your face, it's not super flashy, but if somebody comments on it, you can go, it's like, oh yeah, this is my Kraken piece. I like Kraken because it represents, like, my full unleashed potential.
You're right. It was a weird story. Just kidding. All right. So anyway,
I don't know how you're gonna edit that.
Yeah, no, we're not editing. Everything is going straight out. This has been a sponsored podcast of the Inox Men's Jewelry. Make sure to check out Inox at the shows. Sebastian mentioned them. Inox-us.com is the website. At Inox Men's Jewelry, find them on social media. Give tons of love to Inox. Thank you for listening. This is a sponsored podcast of Southern Jewelry News and the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you for watching another episode of the Pearls of Wisdom Jewelry podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.